exposing the raw truth hidden in the snow, a crash, a child, and a night that changed everything. This is Storyblock, where real survival begins. Stay with us as we reveal a journey that defied the impossible. Sometimes the most ordinary days, the ones that seem to blend seamlessly into the background of our lives, become unforgettable, etched into our memories with a clarity that defies time. They become turning points, moments that redefine everything we thought we knew. For the Szymanski family, a seemingly ordinary June day in 2015 began like any other in the vast, breathtaking landscape of British Columbia. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the promise of summer hung in the air. Angela Szymanski, a loving mother, drove her two precious children, Lexi and baby Peter, home through the enchanting sunlit forests of their Canadian home. The light dappled through the leaves, creating a mesmerizing dance of shadows on the road ahead. The road wound its way through seemingly endless rows of towering trees. The air was crisp, fresh, and filled with the peaceful sounds of nature. It was the kind of day that made you feel grateful for the simple things in life. Lexi, a bright and curious 5-year-old, was likely humming a tune or gazing out the window at the passing scenery, her imagination running wild with the sights and sounds of the forest, while Peter, a tiny infant of just 10 weeks old, slept peacefully in his car seat, completely unaware of the world around him. It was a picture of simple family life, a snapshot of everyday happiness, safe, secure, and utterly serene. A moment of perfect tranquility. But the long drive, combined with the gentle warmth of the sun streaming through the car windows, began to make Angela feel increasingly drowsy. The miles seemed to stretch on endlessly, and the rhythm of the road lulled her into a state of near sleep. Exhaustion, that relentless companion of parenthood, crept in, slowly but surely, as it inevitably does for any parent juggling the demands of raising young children. The weight of responsibility, the sleepless nights, all began to take their toll. The steady, monotonous hum of the car engine, the almost complete quiet of the car, save for the occasional coo from Peter or a question from Lexi, it was the perfect, albeit dangerous, recipe for sleepiness to take over. Angela fought valiantly to stay awake, battling against the overwhelming urge to close her eyes, but for a split second, a mere fraction of a moment, she drifted off into unconsciousness. In that fleeting, critical moment, everything changed in an instant. The course of their lives was irrevocably altered. The peaceful, idyllic drive, filled with the promise of a warm summer evening, was about to be shattered in the most unimaginable way. The tranquility was about to be replaced by chaos and fear. The strength and resilience of this small family, especially its youngest daughter Lexi, would soon be tested in a way that no one, in their wildest dreams, could have ever imagined. They were about to face a challenge that would push them to their limits. Sometimes, the most extraordinary and inspiring stories of human courage and resilience begin on the most ordinary of days, in the most unexpected of places. For the Szymanskis, this was the start of a remarkable story, a testament to the power of family and the unwavering spirit of a child, a story that would ultimately inspire the world. What happened next in the heart of the Canadian wilderness would reveal the extraordinary courage and unwavering determination hidden deep within the heart of a seemingly ordinary child. And it all began with a single fateful moment of inattention, a brief lapse in awareness on a seemingly quiet and peaceful Canadian road. In an instant, the calm was destroyed. Angela's eyes closed and the SUV drifted off the highway, plunging down a 40-foot embankment. The vehicle tumbled violently, hidden from the road above. Metal crunched, glass shattered, and the world turned upside down. The SUV slammed into a tree at the bottom, coming to a jarring halt. The Szymanski family was now trapped, hurt, and invisible to passing cars. This was no minor accident, it was a life-threatening disaster. The 40-foot drop left them isolated, their wreckage buried in dense woods. Every second was critical, but no one knew they were there. The only sounds, wind in the trees and a baby's faint cries. Hope seemed distant, rescue unlikely. But in the midst of devastation, a tiny hero was about to emerge. Sometimes courage comes in the smallest packages. The stage was set for an act of heroism no one could have predicted. Silence settled over the wrecked SUV. Angela was unconscious, her back broken, unable to move or call for help. Baby Peter, just 10 weeks old, cried in distress. He'd suffered a brain bleed. The children were alone, trapped at the bottom of a ravine. Then, 5-year-old Lexi woke up. Miraculously, she had only minor cuts and bruises. She saw her mother motionless, her brother crying. Fear could have paralyzed her, but something else took over. Lexi realized something was terribly wrong. She knew she had to act. In that moment, a sense of purpose awakened in her. Instead of panicking, she decided to help. A 5-year-old surrounded by chaos chose action over fear. This was the moment that would change everything. Lexi's courage was about to be put to the ultimate test. Sometimes heroes wake up in the middle of nightmares. Most 5-year-olds rely on their parents for everything. They depend on them for food, shelter, comfort, and safety. At that tender age, the world is seen through the protective lens of parental care. Every scraped knee, every scary shadow, is met with the reassurance of mom and dad. But Lexi Szymanski was about to show extraordinary resolve, a level of courage and determination that defied her age. She was about to face a situation that would test her in ways no child should ever be tested. Barefoot and shaken, she assessed the situation with a clarity that belied her 5 years. The world around her was a blur of green and brown, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. She freed herself from her car seat, a mangled mess of plastic and fabric, a testament to the violence of the crash. It was a task that challenges even adults, a struggle against jammed buckles and twisted straps. Many adults would panic in such a situation, but Lexi remained calm and focused. Her next thought was for her baby brother Peter. His safety was paramount, his well-being her immediate concern. With determined fingers that should have been playing with dolls or drawing pictures, she unbuckled Peter from his seat. Each click of the buckle was a victory, a step closer to safety. Lexi didn't wait for help. She became the rescuer, the protector, the one in charge. In that moment, she transcended her age and embraced a role far beyond her years. She managed to push open a jammed door, a door warped and twisted by the impact, and get them both out of the wreck. The metal groaned in protest as she forced it open, revealing the daunting landscape beyond. Now outside, at the bottom of a steep hill, they were vulnerable and alone. Lexi faced the unknown, a vast and imposing wilderness that stretched out before her like an endless maze. The world was big and frightening, a symphony of rustling leaves and unseen creatures, a place where shadows danced and whispered secrets. But she had a mission: get help. That single unwavering thought propelled her forward, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Her resolve had gotten them this far, through the initial shock and the immediate danger. The biggest challenge was still ahead, a treacherous climb up a steep incline, a journey fraught with peril. Lexi's actions were driven by love and instinct, a primal urge to protect her younger brother, a bond that transcended age and circumstance. She was about to attempt the impossible, a feat of strength and endurance that would defy all expectations. Sometimes the smallest hands carry the greatest strength, a strength born of necessity and fueled by love. Lexi was ready to do whatever it took, to push beyond her limits, to face her fears, all for the sake of her baby brother. The climb to hope was about to begin, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a story of courage in the face of adversity. Lexi now faced a seemingly insurmountable obstacle, a 40-foot embankment. It loomed before her, a wall of earth and stone, separating her from potential safety. It was steep, rocky, and nearly vertical, a formidable challenge even for experienced climbers. The terrain was unforgiving, offering little in the way of secure handholds or footholds. For an adult, equipped with proper gear and training, it would have been a dangerous climb, requiring careful planning and execution. The risk of slips and falls was ever present. For a barefoot 5-year-old with no safety net and only the instinct to survive, it seemed utterly impossible. The odds were stacked against her, the task ahead daunting beyond measure. But Lexi didn't hesitate, not even for a moment. There was no time for doubt, no room for fear. Her family's well-being depended on her actions. Driven by an unwavering resolve, she started up the hill, her small frame propelled by an immense love and a fierce determination to protect her loved ones. She began digging her feet into the loose soil, each step a precarious gamble against gravity. The earth crumbled beneath her, threatening to send her sliding back down. She was grabbing roots and shrubs for support, her tiny hands clinging desperately to anything that offered a temporary anchor. The vegetation was sparse and unreliable, but she used every resource available. Every step was a struggle, a battle against the relentless pull of the slope and the limitations of her own small body. Her muscles burned, her breath came in ragged gasps, but she pressed on. With each upward movement, her feet scraped and cut against the sharp rocks and jagged edges hidden beneath the loose soil. Pain shot through her, but she ignored it, focusing solely on the task at hand. She could have given up, succumbed to the exhaustion and the pain, and simply slid back down to where she started. The temptation to quit must have been overwhelming, but the love for her family, the image of their faces, pushed her onward, fueling her with a strength she didn't know she possessed. It was a love that transcended fear and pain. The climb was slow and grueling, each inch gained a victory hard won. Time seemed to stretch on endlessly as she fought her way up the treacherous slope. Later, rescuers, experienced in navigating such terrain, would need ropes and specialized gear to descend the same slope, highlighting the sheer difficulty of what Lexi was attempting. Lexi did it alone, barefoot, driven by an unwavering determination and a love that defied all logic. She was a tiny figure against a vast and unforgiving landscape. Her ascent was nothing short of superhuman, a testament to the extraordinary resilience and strength that can be found even in the smallest of individuals when driven by love. She reached for hope with every painful step, clinging to the belief that she could reach the top and find help for her family. Hope was her compass, guiding her through the darkness. The forest was silent, holding its breath as it watched the small girl's courageous struggle. The only sounds were the rustling of leaves and Lexi's labored breathing. But Lexi's courage echoed loudly through the trees, a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. Her bravery was a force that resonated far beyond her small frame. She climbed for her mother, picturing her face, remembering her warmth and love. Her mother's image was a source of strength and inspiration. She climbed for her brother, wanting to protect him, to ensure his safety and well-being. Their bond was unbreakable, a source of mutual support and love. She climbed for their survival, knowing that their lives depended on her success. The stakes were incredibly high and she carried the weight of that responsibility on her small shoulders. Against all odds, against the pain, against the exhaustion, she kept going, driven by an unwavering belief in the power of love and the importance of family. The top of the hill was her only chance, her only hope for finding help and bringing her family to safety. It was the destination that fueled her every move. Sometimes the hardest climbs, the most impossible feats, are accomplished by the smallest feet, driven by the biggest hearts. Lexi was proving that to the world. Lexi's journey was a testament to the power of love, a demonstration of how far a person will go to protect those they care about. Love was her superpower. She was almost there, the summit within reach, the promise of safety and rescue just a few more steps away. The end of her arduous journey was in sight. At last, Lexi reached the highway. Exhausted, dirty and barefoot, she stood by the road as cars sped past. She waved her arms, desperate to get someone's attention. Car after car passed, but Lexi didn't give up. Her determination was unwavering. Her family's lives depended on her. She kept waving, a tiny figure against the vast landscape. Finally, a driver noticed her and pulled over. A door opened, and help arrived. Lexi's persistence had paid off. She had done the impossible. Climbed to safety and flagged down help. The first step in rescuing her family was complete, all because of her courage and resolve. Sometimes hope stands on the side of the road, waving with all its might. Lexi's mighty heart had made the impossible possible. The rescue was about to begin. One small girl had changed everything. The driver who stopped saw Lexi's distress and listened to her story. She pointed to where her family was trapped below. Soon, a paramedic also stopped, a stroke of luck. The paramedic realized the embankment was too dangerous to descend alone. She called for backup, summoning a full rescue team. While they waited, the strangers comforted Lexi, wrapping her in a blanket. Lexi had done her part, now the adults took over. The sound of sirens brought hope. The rescue was in motion, thanks to one brave child and the kindness of strangers. Sometimes help arrives because someone chooses to stop and listen. The rescue team arrived facing the same treacherous slope Lexi had climbed. Using ropes and harnesses, they reached Angela and Peter. Both were in critical condition. Angela with a broken back, Peter with a brain bleed. Time was everything. Lexi's actions had saved precious minutes. Angela was airlifted to the hospital. Peter rushed for urgent care. Their survival depended on Lexi's bravery. News of her heroism spread quickly. A 5-year-old had saved her family by acting with courage and clarity. She unbuckled her brother, climbed an impossible hill, and found help. Lexi's love gave her family a second chance. Sometimes heroes are small, barefoot, and full of heart. Lexi Szymanski became her family's greatest hero. Her courage inspired everyone who heard her story. Lexi Szymanski's story continues to inspire. She showed that heroes aren't defined by age or size, but by action. Her love for her family gave her the strength to do the impossible. Lexi's courage reminds us of the power within every child. She teaches us to be brave, to act, and to never give up. Her story is a testament to the unbreakable bond of family. Lexi's legacy is hope, courage, and love. Even in the darkest moments, a little light can shine through. Sometimes, that light comes from the smallest person with the biggest heart. Lexi Szymanski is a true hero, and her story will inspire for generations.
Exposing the secret to our channel's vibe, gratitude, and good times. You make this all possible. We appreciate every single view, like, and comment. If you enjoyed your visit, hit that subscribe button and join our awesome community. Thanks again for being here.